It gets annoying when people tell you to do the past papers in the Telegram group. It gets annoying, but do the past papers in the Telegram group. So I'm preparing to take my CAMC exam in like 2 days. And I don't feel nervous about it. I actually feel prepared enough. And that's a good thing, because for me, being nervous for an exam, trust me, I feel it. I'm hoping that everything works in my favor, and I want to like share with you also some of the things that I have been doing to prepare myself over the months. So I'm doing an internship now, and that's been a while, right? Like for the first couple months I started on internal medicine, and I did not have any time for myself. I was going through it. I hated the fact that I was like so burnt out, but I ended up I just love internal medicine. So I would go home pissed about it, but then I wake up and I'm like, yeah, I have to go again, because I love my patients. But what I had used a bunch of past papers. This is my pile of past papers that I got from the Telegram group, but I did not swat these, so I basically went through each question and I tried to figure out why this answer was right, why was this answer wrong, and yeah, that's how I did it. So I moved really slow. I started last year, I think, by just going to work, choosing a document from the Telegram group. So I choose number 1, first document today. I'd print that, and then I'd take my time and go through it throughout the day. I might not finish it, but I'd try to do at least 5 questions a day. That's what I did, as well as on my phone. And then yeah, so after a while of me doing that, it became a habit. Every time I'd go to work, I would try to finish at least 2 more questions or 5 more questions, and if I had finished the paper, then I would just print a new one. So that's why I have this big ass pile. A next resource that I used was the Uwi MBBS paper, and I've been seeing some of the questions on some recalls. So and they look like this. I'm not sure if you can see because it's really blurry in itself. So this is the recall for year 2022, and I'm seeing that the Uwi MBBS questions in this, so I don't know. The next thing that really helped when I was doing my final exam in China, I had books. Let me show you. Try to get everything that's like colorful and pretty. And so this book, this was my PEDS book. So I wrote out the MBBS, the Uwi MBBS topic list in the book, so I could have like a table of contents, and I would go through a couple topics a day and just write them out in my book. I would write down what would repeat in the past papers, and I wrote this down for CAMC as well, like what would repeat when I did the huge pile of past papers. Thanks to ChatGPT, that has been my bestie, my therapist, my everything for the past like 2 years. Oh my gosh. Because that was my teacher, that was my fact checker, plus Amboss. So I actually have Amboss as well, but ChatGPT, I would plug in the question, I would be like, tell me why it's right. Well, even if you don't tell it to do that, it will still tell you why the answer is right, why the rest were wrong, and then you can ask it what's its sources, and you can even check it for yourself. Sometimes it can be wrong, rarely, but yeah. That's what I used when I didn't know the answers. So I tried the question for myself, and then I just looked up the answers, and then I wrote down why it was right beside it and why it was wrong. On my friends and I made a group chat, and we used to do like a video call like at least once a week, just going through some CAMC papers, but then that stopped after we all started working. So but that did help. That helped because I would go through like 3 questions a day on my own at work initially, and then with them it's more than 3 questions. Obviously, would go through like 20 or 10 each night, so it pushed my what's that word now, my endurance. Yes, because I have a really bad attention span. For paying for CAMC, it cost $600 for part 1, which was roughly 100,000. So I didn't pay myself, but I sent my friend because she was going to pay for her exam and she was already in Kingston. You would need to go to Uwi, the Uwi campus at Medical Council of Jamaica, and that's actually the building. It's pretty close to where you sit the exam anyway. So I'm also like going through a document that my friend made, and he's so smart. But yeah, just going through it as a review, Today I've already done like this, most of this, so now I'm doing this section. They're over. Good morning. It is 5:30 a.m. We're supposed to be meeting up at one common area so that all of us can leave out together to go to Kingston. The time is 6 o'clock. I do not know if the guys are gonna make it for 6, but fingers crossed. Just like watch how this all unfold. One thing with me though, when it comes down to time, like that made me very nervous. Like I get so nervous when the time is approaching and I'm just like, oh my gosh, will I be on time? Yeah, I hate it. I hate it so much. But yeah, I'm just going to eat and change. I still have that paper that I showed you yesterday that I did not go through, and my mind is on it. I'm like, all right, I don't want to not do it, and then some of the answer them come, some of the question them come. I would be so upset. This always happens to me, every time I take exams. So I'm just gonna listen to my heart and do that recall paper. I have like 4 pages left, so that's fine. 4 pages isn't bad. Yeah. And my earphones are charged up. My bag is packed. Although I really have nothing in the bag but my earphones and my purse. And I am hoping that I pass this exam. I am hopeful. Like I don't know, I feel it in me. So I go pass. I know I go pass. And whether I pass or not, this video is seeing the light. But I know I pass. And if I don't pass, it's because I more than likely never read the question right, or I just never know the answer. But I know I do my work. I know I put out effort. We set out at about 6:30, right? I mentioned that somewhere in there we all met up and we're on a highway at 6:30. We're going through questions with each other, trying to like refresh our minds. Trying to refresh our minds and just ask each other what we weren't sure of.
It is for the past few months that the mass has been protruding from her vagina, and it has been associated with having difficulty passing urine and stool. Her mother is hypertensive, diabetic, and recently began.
When we got to the Uwi, we parked close to MedSci, because MedSci building is where we sat the exam, and then we saw like people sitting on benches, like swatting papers, going through questions with each other or like by themselves. Everybody was just sitting there. I could feel the tension. I could feel like everybody's kind of nervous, and then that was broken when we all saw our friends from our schools, because this is the first time I'm seeing some of my classmates from graduation last year. So we're just so happy to see each other, so that kind of helped us to calm down, right? And we saw some more familiar faces, and I felt so good having my friends there, because what we did, we sat in the same row. All of us just sat in one row. So I'm used to taking exams with them anyway, like throughout the whole of med school. It was just us in the room, so that really helped me to calm down. Like I know that I look to the left, my friends are all there and we're all doing this together, so we don't really have to be like freaking out. So that really helped. You can sit with your friends. Say on a level of 1 to 10, the difficulty for me for CAMC was more of a 7 out of 10. My final year exam would have been like a 6 out of 10, because that's when I really had to sit down and try to learn these topics. Like that was the first time me like sitting down and trying to teach myself medicine. So of course it would have been a bit challenging, but because I did that helped me when I had to like review like 2 days before the exam, when I was going through those books, just trying to refresh my memory, like, oh, okay, yes, I remember this was it, and some of the things I actually forgot. I'm back from doing the exam. I'm back in my pen. It wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad. A lot of the recalls came, and I made a note of which questions came repeated in my exam. Yeah, fingers crossed. I feel good about it. The second paper was harder than the first for me, and it made me a bit nervous, but I think I may have one good shot. I forgot to take my ID with me, but luckily they I had a picture on my passport on my phone, so they're okay with that. Guys, it's like if you're scared to take the exam, at least just start preparing for it. Even if it's, as I said, I did 3 questions a day. That's not a lot, right? And I actually felt bad because my friend started December last year. Well, one of my friends, and then I kind of felt left behind. Like I'm like, I should have taken it with her, you know. But I was still practicing at that time, doing bare minimum questions, amount of questions per day. Then I slowly picked up my pace. So go with your pace. You understand? If you say, okay, the next sitting is August, and now it's May, and you think already that you can't do it in August, still at least try. So that when the time comes closer to August, you can say to yourself like, you know, yeah, I am ready. I think I'm ready now. Or I have a good shot. Or no, I still need more time. But if you never try in the first place, you will never know what you're capable of. And I never forced myself to do questions. No. When I felt like giving it a break or stopping, I stopped. I never forced myself to study ever. I just work with myself. I know myself best, and I know that okay, like in 20 minutes my attention is gonna, I stop and go eat something or drink some juice or water or go talk to my friend them. Like, let me tell you, like when I had duty, that's when I actually did the most work because I had to be up anyway. And my friends were always on the same, like I would be on for like maternity and my friend would be on, no, I'd be on for gynae and my friend would be on for surgery, and that's the same ward. So we'd always just sit there and chat, and I'm like, Malik, come on, go through some questions, Stephen, or you know, whoever I'd see. I said, let's go through some questions. And then my 3 questions a day changed to 10 questions a day because I was with them. We would just always try to push each other to do more. So it's definitely not an impossible exam. It's just tricky, and it gets annoying when people tell you to do the past papers in the Telegram group. It gets annoying, but do the past papers in the Telegram group. They repeated. So many of them repeated, okay? And you're doing it not to swat the exam, but to understand why the answers are right, why this answer is right, and why the rest are wrong. Because it's sometimes they change up the exam question, but it's the same concept. We hope you pass. I hope this video was helpful. If you have passed it already and you're just watching my experience, thanks for listening to me. But if you're scared of taking CAMC, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Be scared. Okay, wait. Be scared, but still put in the work. It's not a super hard exam to me, in my opinion, if you pace yourself. I was studying over the course of from like December to April. December, January, February, March, April. I gave myself time. Give yourself time, but just keep in mind that they don't always have dates for when you want to sit the exam. So still just try to do something. Thank you so much for watching this video. Open a pass.